Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I am Nick from Australia. Hope you guys are doing well on this Sunday afternoon. This is the second video for this afternoon, and it's going to be the Parramatta Eels 2021 NRL predicted team. I've already done a couple of these. I've done the Roosters, Sharks, and the Cowboys 2021 NRL predicted team list. So if you haven't checked those videos out yet, make sure you do. This afternoon is going to be the Parramatta Eels one. I've got about probably 40 to 50% of my subscribers are Parramatta Eels fans. I've had a lot of requests to do the Parramatta one next, so I'm going to be getting into that one in a second. But before I do, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you do. We're currently at 1,048 subscribers, I believe. The channel is doing very well, and the support is much appreciated. So as you always, we'll go through the 1 to 17, and I'll talk about the 4 reserve players, and you guys can let me know what you think in the comment section below. So fullback and captain, Clint Gutherson. On the wings, Mike Acevo and Blake Ferguson. In the centres, Hayes Dunster and Wagga Blake. In the halves, 5'8" Dylan Brown, the halfback, and Mitchell Moses. The front row of Regan Campbell-Gillard and Junior Paulo. The hooker is Reid Marnie. The second row of Sean Lane and Ryan Madison. The lock is Nathan Brown. And on the interchange bench, I have gone with Joey Lussick, Isaiah Papali'i, Morata Niakore, and Keegan Hipgrave. And obviously the coach is Brad Arthur. And the 4 reserve players, in case of injury and suspension, I have gone with Ray Stone, Bryce Cartwright, Will Smith, and Tom Opacek. So they're the 4 reserve players, and that is the Parramatta Eels 2021 predicted team. I'll start with the fullback, the captain, Clint Gutherson. Dare I say, if he wasn't in this team wouldn't have made the top 4 last year, maybe not even the top 8. Clint Gutherson's a very important part of the Parramatta Eels side. He's a great captain. He's a fantastic player. He's an origin player. And Gutherson at fullback is pretty much a no-brainer. The wingers, I've got Mike Acevo and Blake Ferguson. Now, I think this is also a no-brainer. I think Parramatta are a little bit light on the outside backs this year. They haven't got a lot of quality replacements if injury were to occur. But Sevo is a fantastic winger, and he always does a pretty good job. And Ferguson, his experience, and you know what you're going to get from Blake Ferguson. So I think those two, without a doubt, on the wing. In the centres, Hayes Dunster and Wagga Blake. Now, Hayes Dunster's a bit of a unknown sort of player. Made his debut last year in that semi-final against South Sydney, where Parramatta were defeated. And I thought Hayes Dunster had an okay game. Nothing fantastic, but did a decent job. So I think he's a player of the future. And I think because Parramatta are a little bit short on the outside backs, I think Hayes Dunster may get a crack in first grade. So I feel like he deserves to get first run in the centre position. Obviously, Michael Jennings can't play now because of what's happened there, but I think Hayes Dunster will get first crack. And the other centre is Wagga Blake. When he left Penrith and went to Parramatta, he started off pretty well, and then he just sort of lost a little bit of form there. Wagga Blake probably needs to work on his defence and just be a more of an attacking threat and just get more involved in the game. So Wagga Blake, he makes the team, no question. He's in the centres with Hayes Dunster. Halves, Dylan Brown and Mitchell Moses. I think these two pick themselves. Dylan Brown is a very good young 5'8", and I think he's going to have a really big season this year for Parramatta, so he makes the 5'8" role without a doubt. Halfback is Mitchell Moses. A lot of pressure on Mitchell Moses this year. Had a pretty disappointing final series last year. Had a good regular season, except for probably the last 6 or 7 rounds, and then wasn't really the same player when he came back from injury. So a lot of pressure on Moses this year, but he's probably the best halfback Parramatta have at the club, in my opinion. The front row of Regan Campbell-Gillard and Junior Paulo. I thought Paulo and Campbell-Gillard both played really well last year. Campbell-Gillard started really well, and then he sort of had a bit of a quiet spell towards the end of 2020, but I thought overall it was quite good, so he makes the front row easily. Along with Junior Paulo, it was arguably one of the best props last year, probably in the top 5 best props in the game. Big Junior Paulo, he played quite well, and he's always going to make your starting side. So Junior Paulo's a prop with Campbell-Gillard. The hooker is Reid Marnie. Could be a little bit of pressure on Reid Marnie with Joey Lussick, who came over from the Salford Red Devils, and now he's He's obviously on the bench. I'll get to him, but he could put a little bit of pressure on Reid Marnie. Now, Reid Marnie for mine had a pretty good year last year. Played fairly well, did a job, and I think he definitely gets first crack at hooker. But if he has a couple of bad games, Joey Lussick's right there. We're ready to take his spot. But I think Reid Marnie should be safe for a while there at dummy half. So he makes the hooker position. The back row, Sean Lane and Ryan Madison. Sean Lane, I think he needs to step up a little bit. He needs to be a little bit better, especially on the attack. You know, Dylan Brown was giving him a lot of good service last year. So I feel like Sean Lane needs to communicate a little bit better with Dylan Brown and just play a bit more straight with the ball and just play a lot better. So Sean Lane, I think he deserves to get first crack, along with the other back row, Ryan Madison. Thought he had a great year last year. A little bit unlucky not to make the New South Wales Origin squad, but obviously New South Wales had better plans for that. But Ryan Madison, a very good second rower, and you know what you're going to get from Ryan Madison week in, week out. He's a very good player. So he's obviously in the back row with Sean Lane. The lock is Nathan Brown. Probably had his best year up to date last year. Nathan Brown ended up playing for New South Wales and did a decent job. Nothing fantastic, but Nathan Brown's a very good player. He's a bit mad, but he's an aggressive player and he always does well. So Nathan Brown makes the lock. And on the bench, obviously, like I said before, Joey Lussick. I think he'll probably come on and play about 20-25 minutes for Reid Marnie. And I think he'll do a good job, Joey Lussick. He played in the NRL a couple of years ago with Manly, and then he went over to play over in the Super League for my team, Salford, and now he's back in the NRL playing for Parramatta. Probably play as that jersey 14, and I think he'll probably switch up with Reid Marnie, come on and play around the 50th minute mark, and probably do a job. So Joey Lussick makes the bench, and along with another 4 they recruited from the New Zealand Warriors, Isaiah Papali'i. I think he'll do well with the Eels. I think he'll come on, maybe play a little bit of lock. Maybe put some pressure on Sean Lane in the back row. I think Isaiah Papali'i will be a good buy for Parramatta, and he makes the bench for mine, along with Murata Niukore. Now, I like Murata Niukore. I think he's a pretty good bench player. I think he'll get a lot more minutes this year, and I think he will probably play a bit more football around the lock position, maybe a bit of time in the front row, unless they put Nathan Brown in front row and maybe bring Niukore into the middle. But I think Niukore will come off the bench around maybe the 30th minute mark and just come on and be a bit of an impact play, maybe play 15-20 minutes a game and just do a job. So I got Niukore on the bench along with Keegan Hipgrave, who they signed from the Gold Coast. I think he'll be okay. Keegan Hipgrave. He'll probably come on for Regan Campbell-Gillard or Junior Paulo and just be an impact player, just run hard and do some hard meters and do some tackling and just be a good bench front rower. So I think Keegan Hipgrave will be on the bench, and the reserve players, obviously I've gone with Ray Stone. He could be in the 17. I wouldn't be surprised, but I think at the moment he probably misses out, but I think he'll be 18th man most weeks, Ray Stone. Bryce Cartwright, a bit of a dud signing in my opinion, but he could prove me wrong. But Bryce Cartwright, probably a candidate for the Parramatta Eels New South Wales Cup side, but I think he will only play if there's injuries, Bryce Cartwright. And Will Smith, another player in the reserves, probably will cover one of the halves positions if someone went down injured or something like that. So Will Smith won't get a lot of game time in my opinion, but he could be on the bench, or he might even come in for one of the halves if an injury were to happen. And the last player is Tom Opacek. A lot of talk about him playing in the centres, replacing Michael Jennings, but I think Hayes Dunster probably gets first crack. But Tom Opacek, he left the Cowboys and has gone to the Eels. I don't rate Opacek at all. Defensively, he's okay, but attack-wise, nothing special. But I think Tom Opacek, I think he'll do okay if he plays much game, but I think he'll probably be a reserve grade player. He might get a couple of games here and there. But anyway, guys, that's my Parramatta Eels 2021 predicted team. Let me know in the comment section below what your Parramatta Eels 2021 NRL predicted team is. I look forward to reading it in the comment section below. But anyway, guys, I'm getting out of here. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you guys go ahead, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for taking the time out of your day or night to watch this video. I really do appreciate it. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Have a great Sunday night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night for the Corner Post. Until then, stay safe. See you then.